Hello everybody, welcome back to Papa Squeeze Plays DCS. We're going to come back into back to the basics thing. Just go over a few, what I would consider basic concepts that you really need for flight, especially in the F-18. We're going to go over my quick start guide to start the F-18 on a carrier, take off from a carrier, do some small navigation stuff using the systems on the aircraft, and then go back to the carrier and hopefully land on the carrier and not in the water. So without further ado, I did get some new setup stuff for my sim pit, my rig, whatever you want to call it. I am running the Wing Top Gun MIP, which is, if you don't know, I'll try to put like a picture of it or something in the video here. It's basically a replica cockpit screen as you're seeing, like your UFC, your upfront controller, and your displays. I'm also running their PTO, their panel takeoff, I think is what they call it, which has basically all of these basic controls down here on a panel just left of my throttle, my HOTAS. So I'll try to explain what I'm doing as I'm going through here, but if you find me like saying I'm doing something, I'll probably just revert back to pushing the button, but I'll try to show you what I'm pushing here. So first things first, to start it up, you got to turn your battery switch on, which is this here. All of them are mapped, so that's why I wanted to explain as to why, if you don't see me click it, that's why. Okay, so battery switch on, canopy down. We're going to turn our APU on, our auxiliary power unit, which is over here on the left. Okay, and while that's spooling up, we're going to wait for the green light here. When that green light's on, we will start by starting our right engine with this engine crank switch here. So we're going to bring that to the right position. As you can see down here, you're starting to get RPM. And while that's going on, I always turn this lower screen on, this top screen, my HUD, my heads-up display. We're going to go ahead and switch our radar to operate and our INS to CV for carrier. And now that you have roughly 30 showing in the box there, you're going to take your right throttle and put it off the idle detent, or into the idle detent, I should say. And that's going to spool it. And then you're going to hear everything come alive. It's going to yell at us, say flight controls. You'll hear the deedle sound.
Roll left, roll left. Flight controls.
All right.
Flight controls.
And to skip the normal like alignment that you do with your INS, this bottom screen, let me move the stick for you, where it says standard heading down there. See that second from the left on the bottom? I just selected that. That's going to go to like a 1 minute and 40 seconds to do an alignment. As you can see by that countdown, that's 94, 93. We'll let it do its thing there. While we're waiting on that to align, we're going to go ahead and crank our left side engine. It's going to do its thing. Got 27, 26, 28 there. Go ahead and bring the left throttle off the detent. So it start giving it fuel. You should see the bleed air cautions come off of this screen once that engine spools. Alright, we'll go ahead and hit our master caution button. That's going to reset the screen, kind of clear it up, and it's also going to take off like the cautions that you don't have active at the moment. So now that that's done, we will go ahead and you would adjust your lighting. I'm not going to worry about that. So your lighting panel here, your console lights. We'll go ahead and arm our seat while we're waiting. And here in about a second, you should see this lower panel here should go to the map. That means our alignment's complete on that. We'll go ahead and turn our OBOG, so our onboard oxygen system. That way we can breathe. We will get our parking brake released because we have wheel chocks right now. There you just heard the APU kick off. It automatically does that. Hook release or hook bypass. The switch down here, we're on a carrier, so we're going to go ahead and leave that in the carrier position. We're going to also leave our anti-skid off because we're on the carrier, which is here. We will go on to the right side and we will unlock our wings. Normally you wouldn't do this till you were taxiing to the catapult because you'd have other aircraft around you, but I switched it to fold and locked it. We're going to bring up on our left MFD, we're going to hit the menu button. We're going to go to FCS. FCS is our flight control systems. Okay. We're also going to come to the right side and we're going to go to our bit test for our flight control systems. And then there's a little knob right here that you would hold that and this button at the same time, but it's easier for me to press that button on my physical MFD and press Y on the keyboard. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then you can see it says it's in test. And what's that's doing, I forgot to reset that. Should have reset that before you do that. You can see all these numbers changing. And what that's physically doing, if we can see it, see the flaps and stuff, the ailerons and all that moving, you'll get that that beep sound letting us know that the test is complete. So you can back out of that page. We can go ahead and push the takeoff trim button down. Sometimes I get a check trim warning because I forget about that, but I'm not that worried about it. Go ahead and bring our HUD up on this screen. So everything there should be set up. The next thing we're going to do, once this hit 0, we can go ahead and switch that to IFA, which is in-flight alignment. We should be set there. We're going to go ahead and turn on, this is just out of habit, so on our up front controller, and hit the IFF button, turn that on, turn our DL on, and that should be everything. So now we'll go ahead and get on our radio here. We'll get a hold of the grounds crew, or the ground crew I should say. They're not mowing lawns in a park. We're going to hit the F4 option and we're going to have them remove the wheel chocks.
Remove the wheel chocks.
Copy. Wheel chocks are now removed.
Oh, one more thing, we're going to go ahead and uncage our ADI down here. We're just lining up the white lines there. Alright, so now that that's removed, parking brakes off, we can go ahead and we're going to taxi to the catapult all the way behind us to the right, which is catapult 1. So I'm just going to kind of go up here and flip a UE. I got my nose wheel steering on high. You want to use that probably every time you're on a carrier, honestly. Right? Get over here. So he's going to direct us. He'll point left or right. If we're lined up to left, he'll start pointing to his right like he is there. And then he should give us the signal to come straight in. Just going to get lined up on his nose towards him. Right now you have, once he tells you to stop, you got a few seconds to check a few other things that you might have forgotten about. Come on. Alright, so like now I'm going to take my flap switch here and I'm going to put it to half flaps. Okay. We're going to wait for him to signal with his right arm in a down motion like that to drop our launch bar, which is here. Then our friend in the green shirt's going to go ahead and hook us up to the catapult. And then once we're hooked, he's going to motion again for us to pull forward. You'll pull forward and it'll kind of stop. And you're just going to throttle into it. You should bounce in. And then he should signal one more time for us to lift the launch bar again, like so. Launch bar is up. I have that mapped to that panel. Then he's going to start giving you the give her the bean signal. So spooling up. So I usually just take this to run over everything, make sure you didn't forget anything important, which we should be good. So we're going to go ahead and go to mill power, full afterburner. Okay, we're going to give the stick a good run, make sure everything's working, rudders are working. Left shift, left control, and S to give him the salute. And it's just ease back on the stick at full throttle. All right, flaps to auto, gear up. And boom, we're airborne. Carrier behind us. We're going to come out of the throttle a little bit. And I'm just going to steady climb. Go about 6,000 feet. We're actually on the Normandy map. We're going to do just a little navigate point to point here, and then we'll try to get back to the carrier. So if you're not familiar with the HUD, obviously your speed in knots, your altitude, your climb rate. This is your angle of attack, so we're about 6 degrees nose up. We're pulling 1G, that's our Mach speed. This is our indicator, so that's where, if you just drew a straight line, that's where our aircraft is going to be. That comes in handy in landing, you know, for your aim point and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of slowly start to nose down. And this will work here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and hit our AP button on our UFC here. Right there. We're going to do barometric altitude hold. And that's going to hold us at this altitude. So we're going to stay at 5,910 feet. We're just flying in a straight line, no issues. If we look down at this screen, you can see you have the lines with the 0 and the waypoint. So we're going to select waypoint 1, and we're going to hit this button to box it. What that's going to do is it's going to add it to our compass here, that little notch on the compass. We're going to turn until that gets in the little vector line here, meaning we're pointing straight at waypoint 1. But an easy way to do this, like autopilot ways, is you see now that we did that, there's the CPL button for couple. We're going to go ahead and hit that. And right now I don't have my hands on the stick or the throttle or anything. I have my auto throttle control, which is dictated by this ATC right here, set. It's going to hold us at 310. Our barometric altitude hold is going to hold us at that height, and that couple is going to turn the aircraft and fly straight at that point. So we're making a loop now. It should be kind of straight behind us in that direction, if I remember right. Basically just did like a little, I don't know, U-turn over the peninsula over here, and then we'll fly back towards the carrier. But this is kind of nice when you're, you know, if you're new to DCS and don't know. I know when I first started, you kind of get sick of, I wouldn't say flying, but you know, if you don't know how to navigate to a waypoint, this is nice. You can also couple like your TACAN and all that stuff to fly like directly to the ship, which I'll show you how to do that like you would do in a Case 3 landing scenario on an aircraft, like limited visibility. So right there you see it leveled out, and we have that notch lined straight up in there, meaning we're heading straight towards waypoint 1. And it's saying at this speed we'll be there in about 8 minutes. So I'll go ahead and carry this out, get a little fast forward here to that waypoint, and then I'll show you waypoint 2 and headed back to the carrier. All right, so we're you can see in the bottom right corner here, about 26 miles out. We still got about 3 minutes to go, but I was just admiring the French coastline here. It's a pretty cool view. But if you didn't know, the heads-up display, or helmet-mounted display, I should say, this knob here, that's what you're seeing. You know, that's what would be in my visor as I'm looking around. So it gives you your heading, the heading you're actually looking at, and all of the HUD information, other than your climb rate, obviously. But you can see that we have the waypoint coupled, our auto throttle control. We're going about Mach 0.8. So that's pretty cool. It also will show, like, if your data link is on, you're flying with friendlies, you can actually look at them and it'll highlight them, put like a circle around them. That way you don't, if you know you're in a dogfight, you're not getting your guys mixed up. So I'll just show you now, instead of going that full 17 miles. If we wanted to go to waypoint 2, the easiest way to do it is we're still coupled, so our AP is still coupled to waypoint. And by that I mean right here we're still coupled to the waypoint. So if you wanted to go to the next waypoint, all you have to do is click up on that button to waypoint 2. I stepped up the speed a little bit. We're cooking. We're about 482 knots right now, showing that in the box. So he's gonna make a loop. By he, I mean our trusty F-18 here. He's gonna bank in and head towards the ship. Or towards waypoint 2, I should say. The ship still should be over there somewhere. We'll go ahead and turn our EW on. So that's the power button down here where my cursor's at. Okay. I'm gonna bring up on my right screen the EW. Okay. As you can see right here, we have SS. That right there is telling us that our ship is at a heading of roughly 260. So you can see it's coupled to my visor. And you'd be able to see it here if we were heading towards him. So right now we're about 3 miles out, closing fast. And I'm gonna turn the EW off real quick, just to show you something here. All right, so I'm gonna turn back out of this a little bit. Still coupled. It's all good. All right, so we're coupled off of that. I'm gonna turn the waypoint off, bring it down the speed a little bit. We're still holding our altitude, but right now we want to go to the ship. So I'm gonna bring up my knee board. It's normally K on the keyboard. I have it mapped to another button. So we're gonna look at, the first thing here is our air traffic control channel to get a hold of the carrier. So we're just gonna go to our comms 1 here. Okay, you click on that, we're gonna pull it out. And they're on 127.5. So 127.500, enter. Now our comms 1 channel on the left is set to that frequency. we should be able to go ahead and go key our mic, F5. F6 is the Abraham Lincoln, because that is the carrier we have on the map here. We're going to let them know we're inbound.
Marshall 010. Marking Mops 045 440. Angels 6. State 10.4.
010. Mother's weather is visibility 10 plus mile. Scattered clouds at 8,000. Altimeter is 29093. Case 1 recovery expected BRC 321. Report see me at 10.
Alright, we'll just go ahead and give her that.
010. See you at 10.
Update state switched out.
Okay, so say you don't know,
State 10.3.
if it was dark, you didn't know which direction the ship was. Okay, so we're going to bring up that knee board again. You can see that their TACAN channel is 2 X-ray. Okay, so if we hit the TACAN button here, it's on. We're going to do 2 and enter. Okay. Right? Yeah, 2 X-ray, enter. Should be good. No. Got to turn it on first. So now if you saw that, I don't know if you did, the little TACAN symbol popped up down here. So you can see that they're straight behind us. Another cool thing you can do with this is you go back to your autopilot. We're going to go ahead and hit the TACAN button here, and we're going to couple to it. As you can see, the top left, it has our TAC time 2, so 6 minutes. It should start counting down once we turn to it. The TKR, which is the same name for that TACAN channel. And then we're turning towards it. That symbol there is right here. Okay, so it's roughly right now 40 miles away from us because our scale is set to 40. So everything that's close to this outer ring is 40 miles away from us. All right. And right now we're coupled to TACAN. It says 46 miles to TKR. And then as we go, that's going to get closer and closer to us. So I'll go ahead and continue the flight to get us to the aircraft carrier, and then we'll try to land this puppy in one piece. All right. We are right
Tower
above her here.
010. Overhead Angels 6. State 9.2.
We're going to go ahead and uncouple.
010. Tower, roger. BRC 321. Signal is Charlotte.
We're taking...
010.
I just turned off everything. So now I'm controlling it. That's going to yell at us just because I had the... Once you're in that altitude hold and you try to turn out of it, Bitchin' Betty gets pretty mad at you. Alright, you see how I'm moving the HUD there? That's uncaged. That's telling us our crosswind. Caged is going to bring it straight ahead of us. So we're just going to get turned around here. We're going to go parallel to them, but in the opposite direction. Just going to try to get our speed around 250 knots as I'm doing this. I think the biggest thing I had when I first was trying to land on aircraft carriers was you don't land directly, you don't come in directly behind them. You're kind of off at an angle. So if you look, your runway goes, it's like a 10-degree offset, I think is what it is, which is helpful when you're running like your ILS, which I haven't done yet, but that'll basically get you there in no visibility, like without you really having to do much, so I've heard. Alright, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to make sure our hook is down here. Hook is down. Flaps are at full. We're going to bring our gear down. Alright. Full flaps. All our gear's down. Our hook is down. We're going to start making our turn here. Pick up some airspeed. Don't want to lose too much speed. And I know this isn't textbook. This is far from it. It's yelling at me for my speed is what it's doing. You're going to see the IFOL or whatever it is come up on the left side of the screen. That's actually the signal that would be on the left side of the aircraft, or the carrier. And you want that yellow ball to be dead center of the white lines. That's telling you that you're on the glide slope. As soon as you hit the deck, you go to full power. You can see I'm lined up to the left. This still should work. Ooh. Caught the 3-wire there. All right. Hook up. This is where we would stop, unlock our wings, fold them. Oh, our hook's still hooking up here. Hang on. There, we should be good now. There we go. Nope. Sometimes you gotta... There it goes. Alright, that deedle's just beeping at me because my wings are unlocked. But that's not the greatest landing in the world, but we didn't break nothing, and we didn't crash. So, I'm going to go ahead and just stop it here. I'm going to go ahead and set my park brake, which I did there. I'm going to go ahead and turn off all of my displays, my HUD. That way I'm ready to go for the next flight. Turn our helmet mounted display off, and I'm going to go ahead and hit Windows and End. It's going to automatically do our shutdown procedure. There you have it, guys. Just a quick little back to the basics. We went through a quick startup on the F-18 in a carrier situation, basically starting cold. We had to do all the systems ourselves. We did a little navigation, little tack hand navigation to get us back to the ship, and a subpar landing. Hope to do some next ones. In the next ones, I hope to do some more, maybe some basic, I guess you'd call it tutorials in case you're not familiar with some things. And we'll get into the weapon systems and go blow some stuff up. So until next time, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, like the video if you liked it, leave a comment, and we will see you guys in the next one.